Hey everybody, I'm Captain Tommy Scoville and you are on the lifeboat. I hope everyone is doing well this morning. Photographer Charlie Murphy. Looks like Tommy Bird. Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit. Tommy Bird. Zenwen, good to see you. Man, I have a tough time seeing from this distance. All right, I don't know that I missed anybody. We did fire up a little early this morning. Well, I hope that people get to see this. I really do. This is a video that's going to be. This is a video I think is kind of important. So I hope that people have an opportunity to catch this one. So here's the deal, peeps. The last week has. Hello, Paul. Good to see you. The last week has done tremendous things to me in terms of perspective and life and all kinds of other stuff. Having Lydia end up in the hospital the way she did and going through all of that, I end up investing fairly heavily emotionally into the people on the boat. And I think it's probably one of the reasons that, it became a very tight community. But it also is kind of tough on the guy in the seat. Fortunately, grace of God stuff, Lydia is okay. In spite of that, it almost killed me. I can't imagine what would have happened if we had lost her. I really, it's something that I had thought a lot about recently. I've also come to the conclusion that I'm not as good at this as I thought I was. And I'm not looking for people to say, yeah, so don't, because I don't mean this. I mean, the stuff that I do behind the scenes is what I'm talking about. And it's a bit overwhelming. And the realization that, you may not be as good at it as you thought you were is another one of those things that is just a pinch overwhelming. It really is. Yeah, please hit that like button. It's going to benefit the lifeboat. So we did an interview the other day, and Mark Wages was back, which was awesome. It was really fun to do a video with Mark. There was a time where I thought that if Mark wasn't here, there wouldn't be a lifeboat. It was one of those things that I couldn't picture the lifeboat going on without Mark. And at the time, I said, the lifeboat's bigger than Mark, and it's bigger than me. It's bigger than anybody. It's not even a channel anymore. It's a concept. And it's a concept that I think is a really solid one. And I think that it's going to keep going for an eternity. It's not going to keep going for an eternity with me at the helm. That's just, it's not a possibility. It just isn't. I will never leave the lifeboat, as in leave the lifeboat. But my ability to do these every single day is something that's probably going to end up coming to a close. And you know what? I'm trying to sugarcoat that, and it's not the right thing to do. It is going to come to a close. I will never be gone. I will probably be doing, 2 to 3 shows a week. The first year that I'm not here, I would still be popping in and doing stuff. I would like to get a lot more active off camera. And I don't mean working one-on-one with people, because the person that's sitting in this chair is probably going to have to do that. I mean, trying to drive this concept bigger and better. I think that the lifeboat has not caught its full potential because the 100% of the effort on this channel goes into talking to people and filming video live feeds. And it just doesn't leave anything left in the tank. So obviously I've been working with Heather very closely. I am not going to dump all of this on Heather. It would be a very difficult thing to do. And I like the dynamic of having a woman and a man who both take time on the boat. I think that that's a really great idea. And I have a individual that I am going to begin training to take my spot. And this is an individual that I have a tremendous amount of faith in. I know the guy's a damn good speaker. Now he just has to get used to a slightly different format, with the camera. But the bright side is this. I think I'm 24, maybe 24 or 25 years older than this guy. So bringing in somebody that is young, that thinks that they can save the world is a really great idea. I came in like that at one point and you get beat up, this job and this seat kicks the crap out of you. It really does. I'm not doing a woe is me thing. I'm really not. I'm just telling you that, it's a tough gig. It really is. And it's the most rewarding thing that I've ever done in my life. Absolutely, hands down. Good Lord. More people who hate me sending me messages. It's the most rewarding thing I've ever done as far as jobs go, as far as anything goes. And I am training someone to take this seat because I'm not going to be able to do it forever. There are health things, there are age-related things that are just going to make it so this is an impossibility. I'm going to hang in here for, again, I'm not leaving tomorrow or doing anything like that. But in the next couple of weeks, you're going to see somebody else start coming on. And they're going to start pulling a show here and a show there and getting used to it. I'll probably do a couple of shows with him. Heather will probably do a couple of shows with him so that we can get him really accustomed to sitting in front of the camera and working on the boat. And business as usual will continue. The difference is when you get somebody in here who's young, you can talk them into doing just about anything stupid to try to get the lifeboat bigger. I'm sure you could talk this guy into any challenge or anything like that. We'll get him to eat some surströmming maybe. What it comes down to, people, is this. There is a level of hurt that comes with this job that wears people out. It really does. You deal with the problems of, depending on the day, maybe 30 people, 60 people. And, it's not, you don't get an email that says things are going bad. You get an email that tells you why things are going bad, how long they've been going bad for. And you really get invested in that. And it's heavy. It really, really is. It's heavy. And do not get me wrong. I love it. But it is overwhelming. I'm just trying to see where I'm at. I was hoping to be able to get you a number on how many emails I got last month. I can't. But on a good day, I can get 110, 120 emails in a day. Heather Joy is awesome, and Heather has really been helping out. And I think Heather has probably been praying that I would try to find somebody to replace myself. I think she's been watching me work myself to death. I'm going to continue to do the video series for members where I talk about sort of taking you to the next level, having nothing to do with. It's more almost like a life coach than it is like if you haven't seen it, you go check out the video. It's basically stuff that I did from the front of the room, things I did on stage that I'm going to be sharing with everybody on the boat. So if you just popped in, I have, there's going to be a new speaker on the lifeboat. I'm going to start breaking him in the next week or two. And over the course of the next year, he's going to take my spot. And that's really probably the easiest way to say it. Over the course of the next year, he will take my spot. And when my spot is fully taken, I will probably come back here 1 day a week, maybe something like that. I will never be gone from the lifeboat. I will be doing things behind the scenes on the lifeboat. People, if I try to push an agenda or if I try to do anything, I damage the boat. I get tons of people pissed off at me. And there's, I won't turn this into a political show because it doesn't make a lot of sense. But on the 11th of this upcoming month, on the 11th of May, Title 42 is gone. They're just going to swing open the gates at the southern border. And if you think we're in deep doo-doo now with drugs, wait until you see what it looks like after the 11th. And my ability to go and do interviews or do anything that I can do to make this boat bigger and make this boat stronger, I got to kind of be untethered from the boat in order to do that. So I have unbelievable faith in the cat that's going to be coming in here. And you know what, people, if it didn't work, if I brought somebody in and it just sucked or it just was something that, it was I wouldn't, it's a stupid thing to even say because I wouldn't do that. I put quite a bit of my life into this, and I would never want to do anything that's going to, be bad. Starting today, we Heather, I had said I was going to do a morning and then a night and a morning and then a night and a morning and then a night. And Heather reached out to me and said, look, I'll pull the other shifts. If you tell me what, she wants to make sure that we're still doing 2 shows a day. And I think that that's admirable. It's a pretty cool thing. In a perfect world, people, the lifeboat would be going live so that people could come and talk to one another the way you guys are doing right now in the comments section. And this would happen 6 to 7 times a day. That would be a perfect world. That would be the best case scenario. And I think that we'll get there at some point. But if we're going to get there at some point, then I've got to start recruiting and I've got to start doing all kinds of other things to take this boat to the next level. And you know what? I said in a perfect world. In a perfect world, this would be like the NA clubs where 24 hours a day there's somebody at a meeting. So it didn't matter what time of day you show up on the lifeboat, someone's running a sobriety meeting. That would be the best case scenario. Honestly, that would be the best case scenario. And I got to believe that if I was in my 30s, I probably would have been doing 6 to 7 hours a day. You know what I mean? And really trying to, sort of drum that up and make that happen. I'm not in my 30s, sadly. I'm in my 50s going on 70 something. The Dane Bramage, the old gray matter, it ain't what it used to be. And it is beginning to cause some issues. Let me just see something here. Read some more Bible today. Tough going wrong with that. Truthfully, just continue to do that. I'm trying to remember what I was saying. That's probably one of the reasons I need to replace somebody in this seat, because I really am getting to the point where I'm having a difficult time remembering what I was saying from one moment to the next. I came out about a week ago and said I wasn't going to be phoning this in anymore. And I started to do a much more upbeat message. I started to do a message about, not just hanging out at base camp, but breaking out, starting to live your life more than just trying to stay sober, but trying to prosper and trying to be happy. And, it kind of borders on life coaching kind of stuff, which makes me a little uncomfortable. But a lot of people were very pleased with what I was doing. But about 4 or 5 of you hated it. And, it's one of the things about the lifeboat is that, the old expression, you can't please all the people all the time. If you can please some of the people, some of the time, you're killing it. You really are. It's one of those situations that I'm forever screwing up from behind the microphone, according to a really a large chunk of this audience. And I don't know. We've spent a lot of time together. You guys are probably. I think it's one of those things that that happens. Yeah, I think it's one of those things that happens where you just start getting a little sick of the host. It is what it is. So we're going to be bringing in somebody a little bit younger and a little bit more vibrant. Lord Kiss Freak, good to see you, man. I'm happy that you're here. I am guessing that probably sometime in the middle of next week, I would like to have the individual. If he doesn't host his first show next week, he's probably going to at least come on here and do a little introduction. Do what you want, but don't play games. Zenwen is mostly listening this morning. Pal's getting a cup of tea. M. Hunt. And if this guy doesn't work out, it's my turn to host next week. M. Hunt, are you joking or you want to host the show? Because I would absolutely make that happen in a heartbeat. If you would like to host a show here on the Lifeboat, M. Hunt, I would be honored to have you do that. I really would. This show and community has helped at least 20 of my clients who need help living life as a recovered person. And Mountain, you know what? I needed to hear that today. I really did. I needed to hear that today. This is wow, it's so cool. That really is. That's so cool. And thank you for your service, because I know that what you do is tough. If these are your clients, that it is much appreciated. Yeah, Emma, I would love to have you here. I really would. I would absolutely love to have you here. You know what, Buddha? You're in a bad situation. There's absolutely no two ways about it. You're in a terrible situation. But, if I got a really bad Big Mac in a McDonald's at Hoboken, I'm probably not going to write off McDonald's. You came across some people that are bad at what they do, man. They're bad at what they do. And that's no joke. That entire system, man. I gotta believe that there's another one not owned by the same idiots, or don't give up on that form of medical assisted treatment. Give up on the idiots that are giving it to you, because I don't know how anybody has ever made it through that program. Our brother Buddha is, as an oldie myself, you sound pretty vibrant. Well, I appreciate that. I really do. But that sound that makes it, that you just kind of hear my vocal cords sound like they might have been hit with a belt sander. That's one thing. The memory thing is really probably the biggest issue currently. I struggle pretty badly with the memory thing. I'm gonna bring everybody up to speed a little bit on Buddha, because here's what's happening with Buddha. Buddha is not a person that gets high for and has not been, or ever really in a long time, gets high for the purpose of getting high. Buddha has a very, very ugly medical file, and through a couple of life circumstances, he lost his ability to go to a pain specialty clinic. And to get back on the list to go back in and see him, it's the craziest crap you've ever heard. When the first time we talked on the phone and I, started talking to him about moving into medical assisted, if you're in pain, you're in pain. I've never told anybody on pain to get off pain meds. You know what I mean? I'm not that cat. I really am not. And if you're in pain, you should not be. You should have the ability to at least decrease that so that your quality of life, if you can't get rid of the pain, at least get it lowered to where your quality of life is worth living. And the pain specialty people, Buddha and I were talking, I think, before Christmas. And they were like, yeah, we can get you in September, or August. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. That's their plan. It was devastating. And so I think that the fact that, the drugs that we used to do are no longer on the street is probably making him nervous. And he tried to go and get medical assisted treatment. Now, Suboxone is great, but it's not a great painkiller by any stretch. And we're not trying to get him off of everything as much as we're trying to control the pain so that he can have some quality of life. So he gets into this place, and on the very first day, they give him 30 milligrams of methadone. Now, I've been to a bunch of methadone clinics in my life. And normally what they do is they give you 30 milligrams and they make you wait 20 minutes or so to see if you're nodding, or if there's something wrong. And then they'll give you 10 more milligrams. I've been to some places that will give you 40 and then take you up to 50. And then they will increase your dose 10 milligrams every day, or in some places, which is odd. I've never actually had it happen to me, but I've heard other people say it, where every other day they take you up 10 milligrams. So after about 2 weeks there, I'm up in the 200s, near the top of the 200s. And that was my dose. Buddha goes in and they start him on 30. They don't give him anything else. They send him home on 30, which if you're trying to come off of fentanyl, 30 milligrams of, it's just not going to get it done at all. It's not going to get it done. So he goes back in and they tell him that they're going to take him up 2 milligrams. It was either 2 or 3. It might've been 3 milligrams, 2 or 3 milligrams every 3 days. He literally will be in this clinic for 2 months before he gets to a dose that's even going to be a blocking dose, enough to block the dope. Usually places like this want to get you to 80 milligrams as fast as possible. Because if Buddha were to get to 80 milligrams, then fentanyl wouldn't work on him anymore. It becomes a blocking dose. It saturates the MU receptor so much, it just coats it so much that you're not going to get a boost off of other opiates. And I think that it used to be the desired thing at methadone clinics to try to get people to that 80 milligram mark as fast as possible. I think it's tragic, Buddha. I really do. But, even here, this is a really, really small town. Reno is a terribly small town. But I know of 2 clinics in this town. Like I know where at least 2 are. And there may be more, but I know of 2 guaranteed. I would start calling other clinics and talk to them, because that is something I have never heard in my life. 3 milligrams every other day. After 10 days, they will start going up 10 milligrams while I'm going through withdrawals. Yeah, that's a terrible, terrible system. It really is. After 10 days, oh God, they just want you dope sick for 10 days for some reason. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Honestly, it just does not make a whole lot of sense to me. Hello, Virginia. Good to see you. Paul Sargent. I think I said hello. I'm having a hard time remembering. Joanna W. Good to see you. Hello, Full of Hope. Did I see? Yeah, Seventh Son. There he is. Yeah, Buddha. Please do a little research and just see if there's another clinic anywhere, and if you have no other option or whatever, but at least see if there is anything else. Sorry, peeps. Hey, Monk. Good morning, Molly. The biggest victims in the war on drugs are those that are seeking pain control. I'm not going to argue that point with you at all. I mean, what the problem with our country across the board is that we don't come up with good ideas ahead of time. Everything we do, especially if it has anything to do with drugs, is a knee-jerk reaction. So you had the Sackler family that rolls out OxyContin, and they BS everybody in the world into thinking that it is a non-addictive substance, that it has a 4% chance of addiction. Honestly, that was the BS they were putting in their literature, a 4% chance. So obviously, that's not how it worked out. And they created this huge group of people who got addicted, and it became a free-for-all. You know, I mean, there were doctors that were writing 2,000 and 3,000 prescriptions a day. So, I mean, granted, it's out of control. But when the government realizes that there's a lot of overdoses, and by a lot of overdoses, I mean you're talking about somewhere in the ballpark of 7,000 to 9,000 or something in a year, they started to really get nervous. And the next thing you know, the government decides to make it so a doctor can't write a prescription. Like, just knee-jerk reaction, right? They made sure that no doctor felt comfortable writing a prescription for anything. They started throwing pill mill doctors in prison and everything else. And the knee-jerk reaction, hello, Noah James, good to see you. The knee-jerk reaction caused everybody on the planet to go to the streets. These people were looking for pills, and when they couldn't find them, because at that point there was no fent, so they went to the street and they ended up on heroin. And that's and again, now the heroin epidemic starts coming in really hard, and you've got overdoses and, knee-jerk reactions to that. The next, now we're starting to see some incredible laws being proposed for people who get caught with fentanyl. And what it's going to do is fill up our prisons, and it's not going to get huge drug dealers. It's going to get people who are buying enough dope to get themselves through. The knee-jerk reaction thing, where we don't really get at the problem. It's what we do in this country, and sadly, it benefits nobody. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up, people, and I'm not doing a pretty good job here. Okay, so if you just got here, I made an announcement that we're going to be bringing in a little bit of new talent on the lifeboat. There's going to be someone taking the helm of the boat in the beginning a couple of times a week, and we're gonna eventually phase me out and phase him in. And when I'm completely gone, I would be doing a couple of shows a week, maybe 2 or 3 shows a week. That would be retirement for me from the lifeboat. I'm not going to quit and go away. I don't know that would be a particularly healthy thing for me, but it is the best bet for me. I feel like methadone is my ticket. Just need to get to a comfortable dose. Like 80 milligrams is probably, you may need more than that for pain. I mean, you might not. And I'm not a doctor, right? I don't play a doctor on TV. I have, however, done a couple of million milligrams of methadone. And methadone is an amazing painkiller. People don't give it enough credit for it, but it is an amazing painkiller. It works beautifully for that. You know, it really does. And when you go and finally get in to see the pain management doctor, they very much like writing prescriptions for it because it's inexpensive, and they have a lot of, they have a lot of success using it to treat pain. So the nice thing about that too is once you get in to see a doctor, they can give you these, they can give you methadone in pills, because that fake cherry flavor, that's, people often say that it's like cough medicine, and I guess it kind of does taste like cough medicine, but it's really, really nasty. Buddha, I really hope that you just try to look around and see if you can find any other clinics. Don't give up on it because of one set of jackasses. I mean, I don't know if that's a Northeast thing or not. I've never been to a methadone clinic in the Northeast. I don't know if anybody has any perspective on that. Feel free to chime in, but I have never done that. I'm with you, Molly Martin. She says, Buddha, I will be praying for you to find the relief that you need. As will I. I'm a pretty big fan of Buddha. I really am. We hit it off pretty much from day one. But again, it's not to beat a dead horse, but it is like the McDonald's analogy. Don't write that off because of it. Methadone puts you in the ICU? Is that what you're saying, Joanna W? Only methadone clinic near me. The rest are Suboxone. That checks out, Buddha. Joanna W, please tell me what put you in the hospital, because I feel like I don't know what's going on. I'm feeling stupid. Dion Russell, if I've never said welcome to the lifeboat, I apologize. Welcome to the lifeboat. We love you, Buddha, and we're here for you. Joanna W, what put you in the hospital, love? Praying, Tommy. Thank you, lifeboat. I love you all. We love you too, Buddha. And tell that young grandmother of yours that we said hello as well, please. Sends me really funny stuff. She sent me a meme the other day that I don't know that I've ever gotten anything that I sent out to more people than this one. It's got Jim Brewer, the guy that used to be on Saturday Night Live. It's just one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I really enjoyed it. I see an I nearly died, and I see a yes. So it was methadone. Do you remember how much they gave you? I'd forgotten I'd taken a dose and took another a little later. I slept for 2 days until family roused me and then called 911. People, I'm going to blow my nose. So there's something that doesn't get said enough, and it's that methadone is a drug that has a very different effect on people who have had a very serious opiate addiction. That is to say, if you have never in your life done any drugs, or you do not have a tolerance to opiates, and you take methadone is ridiculously strong. I mean, it really is. I remember when I lived in Salt Lake City, I went on vacation, and I had somebody house sitting, and I was only going to be on vacation for like, Scooby, good to see you. I was only going to be on vacation for like 14 days. So instead of bringing out 300 or 400 or whatever pills, I just took out what I needed, right? That way you're not carrying just huge bottles of pills. But it was methadone, and I got them in 10 milligram pills. So my house sitter, who was also babysitting my child at the time, Spanky Calhoun, when I came home, Spanky was sitting on the floor playing video games, and the house sitter was sitting on the couch, eyes completely shut, mouth open about this big, right? Chin just hanging down. And it scared the hell out of me. Like, she had this look on her face, like maybe she wasn't going to come back from it. And when I finally got her to wake up, you know what I mean? Like, sort of roughing her up a little bit, shaking her and all of that. And I finally got her to wake up. I said, what have you done? Did you drink something? What have you done? And she said, I took half of one of those white pills. She took 5 milligrams of 5 milligrams of methadone, and was, balado. So it is a very, very different drug for people who have not used. It's very, very much like Suboxone that way. Your receptors obviously get used to drugs, and it changes how things go. I also have fibromyalgia along with a lot of other pain, but it hasn't fixed. But it hasn't flared up in a while until recently. I'm sorry to hear that. That it's flaring up again, Z-Dub. I'm really sorry to hear that. That's a terrible, terrible, terrible illness. It's because it's where drug addiction was, say, 5 or 10 years ago, where they don't have a test for fibromyalgia. So very often, if you go in and you talk to a doctor about it, they treat you like you're BSing because you're trying to get pain meds or whatever. And it becomes one of those catch-all things that everybody who has it legitimately gets judged by the people who have been playing the system to try to get things. I feel really bad for you, ZW. That is a tough affliction to have. I'm sorry. That stinks. Try CBD and THC creams, Zenwen, low milligram edibles, says Buddha Davis. Full of Hope. When you're getting Full of Hope says, I'm receiving tons of government alerts about altitude sickness in multiple countries. That does say altitude, right? Yeah. Altitude sickness. So is this like a I'm confused by that. I didn't realize that is this something you could spread to somebody else? I didn't know anything to fibromyalgia is similar to connective tissue disorder. I've heard them called the same thing before. So my answer to that would be yes. Hey, Dennis N. Good to see you, brother. Scoob says, I'm going to be slightly quiet. No caffeine. Oh, that's awful. That is absolutely awful. A little caffeine in the morning. I struggle without it. So, yeah, I read the email that you sent me, Full of Hope. What confused me is it didn't really, maybe I'm just not all that bright, and I'm willing to concede that. But yeah, Reno's almost like 1 mile above sea level. And I spend a decent amount of time higher than that because I'm actually, and that sounded bad, didn't it? The trolls are going to cut that right there, and they're going to make a video that says, I'm higher than that. But I'm in the foothills. So we're elevated already above Reno. So I'm probably closer to 6,000 feet. But what made altitude sickness come on all kinds of countries out of the blue? Do they have any idea? Wow, 20 years ago. Yeah, I don't think they knew a whole hell of a lot about it back then either, Z-Dub. That I mean, not, I remember hearing about it back then, but I think that they've come a long way since. Yeah, the concept that altitude sickness would just start to affect people, I find fascinating. Is it an atmospheric thing? Does anyone have any idea, or is it just all of a sudden out of the blue? Because that's fascinating. It's sending out medical alerts over 2,500 feet. It's something weird. Japan, Austria, Italy, France, all over. Wow. I'll tell you something. Spanx Calhoun is, he's so much higher altitude than that. Honestly, there are places near where Spanky lives that are like 14,000 feet. So depending on where you work, there are places up there that are just ridiculous. I spent almost an entire summer at 14,000 feet, but I was also not an old man. I was considerably younger at the time. And full of hope. I haven't been. Listen to me. Like I'm suffering with breathing and some other ailments right now. So maybe there are very severe symptoms, one being the lowest, and three you need to get to the hospital urgently. Okay. That's so bizarre. It's really, really bizarre to me. I spent a lot of my life at altitude because of the whole skiing for a living thing. That was my OG account, says Scooby with a doobie. It's a war conspiracy thing. China created a virus that they are discovering now also has a tendency to affect more people at a higher elevation. All right, seventh. I hadn't heard but that makes sense. I could absolutely see that being the kind of thing that would happen. That really is fascinating. And I haven't been, I'm not firing on all cylinders health wise. And I know that I'm not the only one here. Son, okay. So chances are Mark Wages probably knows about this. I need to reach out to my brother Mark and ask him what he knows about this. I didn't want. Oops, I lost you. I didn't want to point chopsticks. Oh, I got you. You see, I'm not all there. I didn't know what you meant, but now I know what you meant. This is a weird time for a live. Been a while, but hi everyone. Jonathan Hicks. It must have been a while. We go live every day. Usually it's 5 a.m. in the morning and 5 p.m. at night. And we've been on that schedule for, Lord, a couple of months, 2 or 3 months, somewhere in there. But as the sun begins to come up earlier and earlier, I start going on a little earlier because I have a thing about sunrises. After doing some time, Jonathan, I don't miss them unless I absolutely have to. That's pretty funny. It really is. Full of Hope says, I've been awake all night, so I'm not typing very well. I don't type very well if I got 9 hours of sleep. You're doing a heck of a lot better than I do. Oh, it is, says seventh. He said it's a C plus math kind of a thing. Oh, boy. Yep, and it's been crazier than usual lately. Harder to breathe in higher elevations. It is harder to breathe in higher elevations. There's less oxygen. The higher that you go up, the less oxygen that there is in the air. So it's the reason that people who climb Mount Everest have such a struggle, because when you start getting to that, 40,000 feet above, and I think that's what Everest is. Maybe it's 20,000. Let me ask this awful search engine. How high is the peak of Everest? Well, that apparently had absolutely no. Oh, because I'm on the wrong thing. I just did that on a Gmail account. How high is the peak of Mount Everest? 29,032 feet. So, yeah, when you start getting up above that, Zen, when it gets really, really thin, I'm using the Force My Young Padawan. When those movies first came out, I started calling Calhoun Padawan, and he hated it. He really did. He hated it. I'm sure now it wouldn't bother him nearly as much. They say if you have lung or heart problems, it's really dangerous. Do you hear my voice? This has been the biggest the biggest thing that I've noticed. And right before I dropped my mom off at the airport, I said, do you have any? You got an extra inhaler laying around? Because I'm struggling, and I haven't used an inhaler. Prior to this, it's probably been somebody on the boat could probably tell me better than I could, because I was absolutely on the boat the last time I used it. But I would say it's been a little over a year. Ask Siri about Mystic or Verde. Verde. I know that we have a Verdi. I don't know about Mystic. About Mystic and Nevada. And I don't have Siri, unfortunately. I have a different device. Let's see what's going on in Verdi. Yeah, they actually pronounce that Verdi, and so that's South Lake Tahoe. We're talking about very serious elevation there. Full of hope. That's really serious elevation. That's probably almost double what where I am now. It's really, really up there. I would imagine that if this is giving people problems, then it's really killing them in Verdi. And the other one you said, I think, was Mystic, right? Yeah, that one I'm not finding. Nonsense, Dennis N. You're absolutely lovely. Sorry, peeps. I'm just trying to catch up because I kind of lost what I was doing. As I said, I'm not very good at this YouTube thing. You'd think after all of these videos I would be. I'm still not smoking. I can breathe pretty good now. Yeah, that's awesome, man. For real. Dennis, congratulations. That's 5 kinds of awesome. It really is. Hey, Uncle Bill, good to see you, bud. Really happy to see you. Let's see. Oh, I got you. I misunderstood that full hope. I'm sorry. But again, I'm not firing on all cylinders. I keep it real. I'm not even firing on half of my cylinders. Tommy, my doctor prescribed me an inhaler for the first time in 40 years. 7, son, you're old. So I think we're probably the same age, but it's a lot more fun if I can. It's a lot more fun if I could pick on someone else for being old instead of me. Yeah, I haven't used an inhaler in a really long time, but it's giving me the business right now. It really is. I'm struggling. I mean, I'm not like going to drop dead or anything, but 26 inhalers, blue and brown. Okay, time to tell my cats to go grab me a Red Bull. Well, you got really good cats. If you got a cat that can go and grab you a Red Bull, that's fairly impressive. Red Bull and breakfast. They need to go to Sunoco and our local food restaurant. You know, I don't know if I can't remember the last time I saw a Sunoco. That was a Northeast thing. You know, you start getting out west and you don't, there's little gas stations and things that you see in some parts of the country that you don't see in others. Like down in Texas, you get Diamond Shamrock, which is kind of like it's kind of like a 7-Eleven, you know, or a what's the other one? Oh man, the old gray matter. It ain't what it used to be. Diamond Shamrock and Circle K. That's what it's called. Yeah, you're not much older than me though. In all honesty, if anyone cares about an update, my marriage is still a wreck. But I ain't drank since my May 13th last year, so almost a year. Congratulations, Jonathan Hicks. That's fantastic. It really is. I'm sorry to hear about your marriage. I am. You know, it's. I had somebody recently reach out to me, and they said that they were struggling with their marriage, and would I be willing to talk to them about it? And I said, you know, I'm no marriage counselor, dude. Like, I'm not very good at anything like that. I'm just not very good at that. But here's my advice to anybody: communication. I mean, I'm not being flippant, but I'm being dead serious. Anytime there's a problem in a relationship, no matter what kind of a relationship it is, it's because two people are not communicating the way that they need to. Bottom line, it's that two people are just not communicating the way that they're supposed to. Cumberland Farms and 7-Eleven. You know what's really funny, Buddha, is Cumberland Farms, there's one in Woodstock, Vermont, and they don't allow anything like that, right? But the little store that used to be owned by a little Vermonter or whatever became a Cumberland Farms, and up there they just call it Cumbies. We're going to Cumbies. You know what, Jonathan? Florida has Cumberland Farms too, says Molly. Good, Scoob. Little cash flow. Scoob says I'm going to be babysitting again soon. Like to hear it. Like to hear it. Every week. That's even better. Congratulations. Full of Hope says, Cumberland, back me up here at Paul Sargent. The people from the other side of the pond. Cumberland. I think we have a Cumberland in Kentucky too. I think I might have done a speaking gig in Cumberland, Kentucky. If not, I'm having a flashback to that for some reason. There was a time in my life where I could have told you whatever the hell happened that day, but I'm just fading. Did I hear a Heather? Is Heather Joy in the house? Hello, Heather. Good to see you. Cumberland and Sausages, UK is the OG, the original gangster. Well, all right then. Okay. Well, I should get my butt to bed. I have to be up for work at 4 p.m. and it's already 8:30. Yeah, it's 8:30 on that side of the world. It's 7:30 where Buddha is. Yeah, good to see you, Heather Joy. I was filling everyone in, Heather Joy, on the concept of training someone that's going to be spending a little bit more time in this chair, and over the course of the next year, we're going to slowly phase me out of this chair and put him in it on a regular full-time basis. We're at which point I will become kind of a figurehead, like Colonel Sanders. You know, I'll come on a couple of times in New England. You gotta love New England. Oh yeah, it's been a full hour. I was thinking about the start of this show. It's been a full hour. Yep, this one went the whole hour. Okay, peeps. I don't know how much gas in here. I don't drive much. Okay. And on that note, people, I'm going to be calling this a day. And I am really going to try to put my head on a pillow. I didn't sleep last night. Like, not at all. I came in from yesterday and I've been up. Well, I guess then I technically would have been up since the morning show. Yeah, I don't know. It's been a minute. And I'm not thinking very well. And I'm finding myself with pain behind my eyes. In fact, when I first turned the light on this morning, I was going to do this number because the light was killing me. But instead, I just turned the light down. So you're seeing shadows and everything else. It should have been a whole lot brighter than I've got it if you really wanted to. Of course, it's already shining enough off of my dome. Thank you, Full of Hope. She said, sorry to hear that. That's kind of you. Thank you, Buddha. I really appreciate that. Yeah, the price of petrol around this country has it's bizarre. It really is. It kind of freaks me out. My what? The shining dome? Well, thank you very much. Blue, I appreciate that. How about the shirt, Blue? Did you like this? This is the coolest shirt of all time. And you know, Seventh, if you get a good look at that guy right there, it really is that guy right there. Like, it is the exact same. Love this shirt. Love this. This was a Seventh gift, and I just love this. I really do. The White Rabbit Watch Company. Such a cool shirt. Such a cool shirt. I was taking pictures of it and sending it to people because it just, it's awesome is what it is. I have to bring the dog in. She's barking her head off and it's too early in the morning. Have a great day. Zenwen, you have a great day too. I know, Blue. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love this shirt. All right, peeps. I'm Tommy Scoville. And that is Squirrel Nut Zipper. Can we get a yawn out of you? Squirrel's out. And she's not very happy because Squirrel kind of goes to bed when I go to bed. So poor Squirrel has also been up for a very long time. I love the shirt. I got a Cheshire Cat tattoo on my leg. Well, I got a Cheshire Cat too. The Cheshire Cat's on the backside. He's disappearing. See him fading away? Maybe you can't, but I do have a Cheshire Cat. He's got the big grin right there. Cat, squirrel, cat, squirrel, cat, squirrel. Buddha knows. Alrighty, people. Bye-bye, Full of Hope. Time to sleep, says the homotographer. Yes, it is. All right, people. I am Tommy Scoville. I'll see you on the deck of the boat. God bless everybody, and be kind to one another. Eh? Let's try to communicate. Be kind. Come on now. Come on now. Look at that. It won't even let me do it. I'll be on here till the end of time, people. I can't even turn it off. There it is. All right.